Hey everyone, it's Dr. Erica Person with Flex Audiology, and welcome to a new episode of the Flex Audiology Show. Today we are going to discuss the topic, is audiology services covered by my insurance? And then I also want to give a little shout out to the Aurora Diner, and we'll get to that. But first, if you have a second, take a moment to hit that subscribe button, the like button. It really helps us increase and grow our channel, and I appreciate it so much. So the number one question we get over the phone is this appointment that we're scheduling going to be covered by my insurance? And it's totally a fair question. Health insurance is really, really confusing, and I feel like it changes every single day. And so we're going to break it down into plain English with no insurance jargon required. So let's start it out. So within an actual hearing evaluation, when you call, we're going to ask you a few questions just to make sure that you're being scheduled for an appropriate type of appointment. And so if your primary reason is calling because you feel like your hearing's not as well as it used to be, or starting to age a little bit, or heaven forbid you got into some type of accident or you have a medical event, then the diagnostic portion of the testing is typically covered by insurance. Now, depending on your insurance, we may need a referral from your physician, but most of them actually don't even require that anymore as long as there is a medical need that is being met. So that is a diagnostic in nature. We're going to sit down, we're going to test you, we're going to figure out, do you have damage in your auditory system? That is typically covered. So that's going to be the little beep test that you think about. We'll do tympanometry where we check out your eardrum to make sure that it's moving correctly. And we'll do some extensive speech testing just to see how clearly you're hearing the words. That's going to be really kind of your typical basic hearing test that you'll go through, unless there's some other specialty things that we're not going to get into today. So that is typically mostly covered, depending on if you have a copay or insurance. But the key piece that insurance does not cover, which is very unique to our field, is the actual medical management of you as a patient. So if you've ever gone to a physician's office, you're filling out 3 to 4 pages of medical history so that they can kind of get a sense of what's going on with you. That exact same thing is going to happen here at Flex Audiology, where there unfortunately is some paperwork that we need to have filled out. You can do it online, but it really gives me a sense of what is happening within your body. Do you have cardiovascular disease? Do you have diabetes? Do you have other contributing factors that could be causing the damage to your ear? Because it's not just about the damage today or where you're at today. We want to look at making sure that we're ruling out anything possible that could come up in the future that maybe we need to keep our eye on, or even medically refer you to somebody else to get it treated. So that way it doesn't continue to make the hearing concerns a lot greater. So that piece of it, shockingly, is not covered by any insurance, including Medicare. And that's really surprising to a lot of our patients that come in, especially if they're on Medicare, because Medicare tends to cover everything. But since we fall under that specialist kind of title, that piece is typically not covered. And then the end of the appointment. So you've got your basic evaluation, but let's say you do have damage in your hearing organ, in your system, and you want to talk about treatment. The discussion about treatment and actually going through all the different parts and components of that is also not covered by insurance. And that is really, it's probably the most important part of the entire appointment. So once we figure out what's going on, most patients want to sit down and say, okay, well, what can I do to fix this problem and help me move forward? So it's super frustrating that insurance doesn't cover them. So why do we still offer it? Because it's needed, it works. Like, we need that time with you to really kind of go through what are your communication needs? What are your challenges? Is it just devices for your hearing aids? Is it auditory training? Is it something as simple that you need a specialty alarm clock to wake you up out of bed? Something with your phone, whether you still have a landline phone or we need to look at captioning for your cell phone. So we walk you through all those different facets of what's going on in your life to come up with a care plan or a treatment plan. And unfortunately, that is an out-of-pocket cost for you. So what can you do and what can we do for you? So the main thing is just asking up front. When you call, ask the front office staff, based on the type of appointment that I've scheduled, can you give me an estimate of how much my out of pocket's going to be? Sometimes we can get pretty close right on the phone, but other times we won't have that information until your actual appointment. And once you provide us with your insurance information for us to check it. Generally, what we do is we send out what's called a good faith estimate. And that good faith estimate is really kind of, I think of it as like my worst case scenario. What if your insurance just said, I'm not going to pay for anything, even including the diagnostics? That is on that form. So you should get that usually typically through email, but also if you don't have email, we'll be sending it to you through the mail. So that way we make sure you have a chance to take a look at it. And then for your part, you can also check your benefits. So you can always call and just simply ask them. The biggest challenge with dealing with insurance companies on the phone is that they don't know what they don't know. So they're going to give you a quote based on just the diagnostic test itself. They typically are not talking about the medical management portion, and they're definitely not talking about the treatment portion as well. And then consider that it's definitely worth investing in your hearing health. Your hearing is tied to your brain health. It's tied to your cognition, your relationships, your safety. So it's not just about the ears. It's really your whole life that you're looking at improving. And so I know insurance is not the most exciting topic, but we are definitely here to help you make everything as clean and clear and crisp as possible. And our whole goal is to figure out what is going on with you and can we help you, and then triage. If it's not us, maybe to someone else that can help you move forward with better hearing. So if you have any questions, let me know. I do want to talk about the Aurora Diner. So we are located in Lawrenceburg. We're also in Harrison, but the Aurora Diner is really just kind of an extension of Lawrenceburg. So my kids and I took a day off of work and we did the bike path or the running path between Lawrenceburg and Aurora that kind of connects it. It's about 3 miles one way. It's really not that bad, and we were on our pedal bikes. So it went pretty quickly for us. And when we got into Aurora, we knew we wanted to have some breakfast. And so I did a quick Google search and the Aurora Diner came up. And the diner is so cute. It's downtown. It was easy to get to. And surprisingly, it was like a Tuesday, probably around 9:30 or 10, and it was packed. There was a lot of people in there. And we ended up the kids both had pancakes, chocolate milk, and then I ended up getting a coffee and an omelet. Very delicious. Lots of cute things up on the wall. We would definitely go back. Cora, my youngest at 7, she said that it was definitely a repeat experience for her. She couldn't wait to come back. She thought everything was wonderful. And very filling too. The portions were pretty big. So the bike ride, while easy getting there, was maybe not as easy getting back. We had to take a couple extra breaks because our stomachs were probably a little bit too full. So if you're in the area, it's probably only about 10 minutes away from our Lawrenceburg office. So definitely check it out. Otherwise, if you have any questions about insurance, audiology, or diners in the area, give me a call or definitely drop me a line below and I will respond. I hope you guys have a great day.